Welcome to the video, guys. The new Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has been appointing his new team over the last few days, with reports dripping out of who he has promoted. As I covered yesterday, one of those names was, of course, Jess Phillips, who got herself a junior ministerial role, helping to pack out his new Labour Party with archery moaners who will never be able to help him get elected as the Prime Minister of this country. Now, when he won the Labour leadership election, you might remember hearing in various news articles saying how he will rid Labour of its anti-Semitism problem, which obviously most people took on face value. Me personally, and likely a fair few others, knew it was complete bullshit from the start. Not only because this is Labour and Sir Keir Starmer we're talking about, but also because he is a politician, and if they're saying something, the chances are they're probably lying. Well, it was recently reported and brought to my attention that Bradford West MP Shah was named in Sir Keir Starmer's Labour revamp, which I'm sure has got some of you going wild in the comments, and rightly so, with this article in the Telegraph and Argos pointing out that she had been given the new role. Bradford West MP Shah says she's honoured with her new appointment within the Labour Party. Miss Shah has been named as Shadow Minister for Community Cohesion in Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer's new look front bench, which I think you will agree is a bit of an ironic post for this woman to be given, considering the things that she has been accused of doing and of course liked and retweeted on Twitter. Now, you ain't going to find it in this article because that is literally it. They don't bother giving a brief overview of the history of this MP from Bradford. But we can do that here. So much for Sir Keir Starmer ridding the Labour Party of the so-called anti-Semites. With this article from back in 2016, Shah, my words were anti-Semitic. Labour MP Shah has said the comments which saw her suspended from the party were anti-Semitic. Miss Shah apologised in April for online posts, including one suggesting Israel should be moved to the United States. But I don't need to read any more of that. I'm sure you will agree that essentially there proves that Sir Keir Starmer does not plan to remove anti-Semitism from the Labour Party, otherwise why would you bring her into the top team? Someone who has admitted that their words were anti-Semitic. But that is not all that Shah has been up to, as I'm sure most of you have already furiously typed in the comments and been screaming about at the screen. We have this tweet here from David Curtin, who is pointing out something that media article failed to do. New Labour leader Keir Starmer has appointed victims of abuse in Rotherham should shut their mouths for the good of diversity Shah as the Shadow Minister for Community Cohesion. This is a slap in the face to the victims of this hideous crime. And I think everyone in their right mind would have to agree with him, especially as I said earlier, giving her the job as Shadow Minister for Community Cohesion. How is this woman and her past actions going to help community cohesion? We know her level of community cohesion, that is, if someone from a minority group commits a crime or does something wrong, you should shut up in the name of diversity. Which you can see here by the Metro article, but to be honest, it was in almost every paper at the time. MP shares tweet saying abuse victims should shut their mouths for the good of diversity. I actually remember hearing about this back at the time, which I think was one of the first times I really heard about the seriousness of the grooming gang scandal that had been going on for a long time before then. Because you heard tidbits about it before then, but you didn't really know the full extent of it until you see something like this and take a further look. Which is also why I think the petition to get the grooming gang report released has only managed around 120,000 signatures. Because a lot of people still don't know this was happening, or at least happening on the industrial scale that it was. A Labour MP has been criticised for sharing a Twitter post telling Rotherham sex abuse victims to shut their mouths for the good of diversity. Shah, who represents Bradford West and is currently in Sir Keir Starmer's top team, shared and liked a post tweeted out from a parody account of newspaper columnist Owen Jones. Which is a silly way of putting it. We all know Owen Jones is a parody of a human being. It said, those abused girls in Rotherham and elsewhere just need to shut their mouths for the good of diversity. The 43-year-old later deleted her retweet and unliked the post. But she was criticised by the Equality and Human Rights Commission chief, who said the MP should know better. Naz Shah MP liked your reply. And there, Labour Politics Zone and Naz Shah MP retweeted your tweet, and you can see the actual tweet there. We need to keep the victims of these horrific crimes at the heart of the debate, and always remember that diversity is not served by silence. Ms Shah's comments came just days after she attacked fellow Labour MP Sarah Champion for speaking out about the Rotherham sex scandal in an article. In the letter published in The Sun, Ms Shah accused Ms Champion's comments of being blanket racialised loaded statements which stigmatised the Pakistani community. She added that the article was irresponsible and set a dangerous precedent. So what do you think retweeting that tweet does then? Was that responsible, was it, you snivelling shitweasel? Huh? No, of course it fucking wasn't. A spokesman for Naz Shah told the paper this was a genuine accident 8 days ago that was rectified within minutes. To suggest otherwise is absolute nonsense. No, to suggest that is an accident is what is nonsense, let's be honest there. How can you accidentally like and retweet a tweet that is saying the girls who were raped by Pakistani grooming gangs need to shut their mouths for the good of diversity? Please explain to me how that could ever be considered a genuine accident. We all know that is how this woman actually thinks, as do I would expect most of the Labour Party. Naz has and will continue to advocate for all victims and work towards eradicating this evil from society. What evil is that? The dirty rape gang fuckpigs that you're trying to defend? Or the kind of evil that tells people to shut up for the good of diversity? Either one we would be happy to get rid of. Ms Shah was suspended by the Labour Party in 2016 for making anti-Semitic comments online. Bearing in mind she was only elected as an MP for the first time in 2015, it took her a year or just a little bit over to get herself booted out for being a no-good fuckpig. Which is also pointed out here again. Corbyn ally shares message telling Rotherham sex abuse victims to be quiet for the good of diversity. Once again claiming that it was just an accident. I'm not sure how it can be an accident, as I've said, but this is the Labour Party. Nothing should surprise us, really. And here we have a similar article talking about the same thing, but it says here she did all of this just days after attacking a fellow party member for speaking out over the issue, which of course we just see in relation to Sarah Champion. Yet more articles about it, this time from the Rotherham Advertiser, saying she should resign. Well, that would have been a given. But Corbyn was never going to do that, was he? Maybe for the good of diversity. Who knows? Perhaps that's where she got it from. Now, there are also reports that Naz Shah has been bankrupt a couple of times, with the second time receiving apparently a £27,000 loan that was not declared on her parliamentary register. So, who knows if she could be in trouble on that one? I don't know if it's true or not, but essentially all of this goes to show the type of team that Sir Keir Starmer is surrounding himself with. Being the arch Ramona that he is, in my opinion, he already stands very little chance of being elected as the Prime Minister of this country. But given the people he's brought into his top team, I would say it can never be allowed to happen, especially with snivelling shitweasels like this woman here, who sits there and tells grooming gang victims to shut their mouths for the good of diversity. Now before I go, I've started doing live streams and uploading gaming content on my second channel. If you would like to come and join me for a live stream to chat in real time, have an interest in gaming related content on YouTube, or just want to follow me over there because you are a legend, the link will be down in the video description below and as a pinned comment. I hope to see you all there. Now as always, before I go, I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I will see you all in the next one.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.